I accept the time it takes to create. 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 You know, I accept the time it takes to create. I accept the time it takes, and I accept the time it takes to create. I accept change. I accept life. I accept death. Maybe I'm still working on that. But I think it comes along with change. You know, everything has to kind of wither away for something new to come forth. I accept being. I accept life. I accept myself. I accept love. I accept my creativity. And I accept my genius. This piece really taught me that things take time, and it's okay for things to take time. as simple as it sounds, it's really hard for it to like accept it as things are happening. And in it, I kind of learned to accept healing, accept the time it takes to heal. And as I kind of began this piece a while ago, I had the canvases laid out in my studio. And every now and then I just collect little pieces here and there from the flowers in the backyard, or a piece of thread that I have left over, some pieces from, like extra pieces from paintings I'm working on, or like art projects that I'm working on, and just put it on the canvas and just kind of play with it, forget about it, and then come back, rearrange it. And as I began creating the piece, like the thoughts of accepting change, accepting life, you know, rebirth, renew, you know, allowing things to fade and then for new growth to come in. They were all like fresh on my mind, even like from incorporating flowers that I found in my backyard, and just my window facing them, I get to see the seasons change. You know, I get to see the moments where, you know, they're in bloom, and then, you know, they wither away, and then all of a sudden nothing is there, and then, you know, you start to see the beginning of the sprouts. And then also incorporating an avocado plant that I grew, sadly, since she's in the piece, she passed away, but incorporating her in it, and the fact that like the plant taught me so much about change, you know, getting it from a seed, and like the time, I guess not even so much about change, but time it takes to create things, seeing it from a seed, and when it first like breaks open, and then like a little bit of a root, what is it, a root or a stem comes in, and to the first leaves, like, oh, it's such a beautiful thing to witness. And it's not like it happened overnight, it's like over weeks and months, I guess, who kind of see the plant grow. And it helped me kind of get back into my own creative life, creative works. I think for a while I went through, how could I say it? I think for a while I wanted things to be done fast. I felt, well, not even fast. I just felt like my ideas were taking too long to come into fruition. They were taking too long to be done. They were taking too long. The process was just taking too long. And just growing, or like not even growing, I just kind of, I guess, gave the avocado plant the resources to grow and thrive for as long as she did. Just watching it, like it take its time in forming into an avocado plant, forming the stem and forming the leaves one by one. I was like, okay, precious things take a while. Or maybe just even creating takes a while. And I think there was a bit in the period of life that I was in, there was a bit of impatience in my creativity, and that I have to do it now. I have to do it as fast as I can. I have to be quick, and not really taking it in the journey that it takes to get to the finished product, not taking it in the moments of silence, the moments of thought, the moments of awe, of like, whoa, wait a minute, this looks really cool. Or, maybe I should scrap this whole thing and start over. I just felt like it needed to go from thought to finished product. Delicious. And I had forgotten the beauty of the in-between, and how fun that could be, how playful that could be. Accepting to play, accepting to have fun, and accepting to just be. And that was incorporated by using kind of, well, I didn't even think about it, really. I'm gonna be honest. I was gonna say about the color scheme. I didn't even think about the color scheme, how I use black and white, red, blue, and yellow. And those are like the primary colors in a sense. And to me, especially in this season of life, I'm obsessed with the black and white pattern. I have it on the jewelry that I wear every day. I have a painting that's black and white stripes hanging in my room. I have a portrait with the checkered black and white hanging in my studio that I see every day. So I'm surrounded by it all the time. And for me, the white represents the possibility. What could be created, kind of like the beginning. And the black represents what's already been made, what's happened, like the accumulation of all that's been created is there. And then we have the primary colors, the reds, the yellow, and the blue, and those create all the colors you could think of. And to me, they represent the moments in between the white and the black, the moments where you discover who you are, the moments where you get to play, you get to let go, the moments where you get to change, the moments where you just are. And it's like I keep saying you just are, you just even, the moments where you breathe, and the parts that, I guess, the different versions of self you can be, the different the different versions of self you can be. Like, I think a lot about this in my paintings. I think when I'm working on it, there are like so many different versions until the end. Even in this one, you can see from the beginning sketch as I laid them out to the middle and then to the end, they're very different pieces. I mean, they're very similar pieces, but they change as they go, even if it's just, oh, one flower is not there, or I'm adding a new color, or I've sewn over this, but then sew over that, and yeah, if I were to go back and work on it, it could be a totally different piece, and it would have a different meaning. Well, would it? It could have a different meaning, but it's just a lot of like pieces as I work on them, they take different forms, different shapes throughout their kind of journey to the end. And it's very similar to life, how there's many similarities in who we are all the time, but we also take different shapes as, we grow, we learn new things, we see what we like, kind of like in a painting, it's like there's pieces that I like, and then I work around that and seeing like, oh, this works, this doesn't. And just in life, you adjust, you move, and I allow myself to create a different version of myself with the resources that I'm given, with the new information that I take in, with, the way I express myself, the way I am. I allow myself to try something new, see if I like it, and to allow myself to change, to allow myself to grow, to move, and not to be so stuck into one space. And then also, this piece taught me that I don't need to go as fast as I can. Like I was saying earlier, I don't need to, even in my own personal life, to go from, oh, I'm going to do this, to boom, it's done. Accept the in-between, accept the colors mixing, the new creations of things, the lull, the boredom. the Is it even boredom, or maybe just time of peace? Yes, a time of peace, a time where I get to sit and I enjoy the repetitive nature of doing what I need to do to get where I need to be, or where I want to be, to get my peace where it needs to be, to get my creativity where it needs to go. And in some ways it becomes a meditation, like a time to sort your thoughts, to really center yourself in what you're doing, the way you're creating, and what idea, imagery you're trying to convey. It becomes a meditation of solidifying yourself, solidifying your thoughts, your ideas, your creativity, your process, and your skill. I'm grateful for this piece, and I remember as I was kind of finishing it, I I was talking to my sister and I was like, man, I'm having so much fun creating this. I don't want it to end. And in that moment, I realized I had just finished a piece because it no longer needed me to keep pushing it, but I personally wanted to keep going just because I enjoyed the process. And that just told me that in itself, it's done. Now it's time to move this creativity elsewhere and maybe build up on this piece, and it could become a series, and and it's also accepting the time it takes to create is also knowing the time when to stop creating. Know that your work is done and to move on. And I think that's always my favorite part in creating art. The play between, oh, am I done, not done yet, or like, do I need to remove more of this and that. It's like it's a fun back and forth with my own mind of how do I feel. That's really what like creativity is for me. Like, how do I feel? Do I look at it and just it's a deep breath, or do I look at it and I'm like, something's off, or it's like, this is pretty. I think we can do something more. Or like I said earlier, is this like, or is it something? Oh, we gotta start over. We gotta start over, something new. But accepting the time it takes to create. I accept the time it takes to create. I accept the in-between of the play, the fun, the boredom, the quietness, the questioning. Because you always have to question yourself, It's very important. It's very important. The pondering and the discovering of oneself. I accept it all, and very much grateful for this piece, for reminding me to enjoy the process a little bit more, and not to be so quick to arrive, but take the time to look around, enjoy the scenery, take a deep breath, and just be. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Much love, Nibizi. Mwah.